Today we're going to learn this sunburst-inspired granny square. This is beginner friendly and you can use any color combinations that you like. So let's get started. For this project, I'm using these 4 colors of yarns. I'm using a 3mm crochet hook today. You also need a pair of scissors and darning needle to thread in the tails. We're going to start with a magic circle. The first row we're going to make 16 half double crochets. So insert the hook, yarn over, yarn through, pull the hook through, and yarn it through the 3 loops. That's our first half double crochet. For the second half double crochet, we'll yarn over, insert into the magic circle, yarn through. You have 3 loops on your hook, and yarn over the 3 loops. So we're gonna make 15 of them. We actually need 16 loops for the second row, but the reason why we make 15 half double crochet is because for the last stitch I'm going to slip stitch to close the loop. That would make the 16th stitch. So we're only making 15 of these. When you get to the 15th half double crochet, we can pull it close. We're going to insert the hook in the first stitch to make a slip knot to close the loop. So that's our first loop. You can pull the tail tight to close it a little bit more. So for the second loop, we're going to use puff stitch. For the first puff stitch, I'm going to pull up the yarn like this to give it space. You can also chain 3 as your first stitch, but I'm just gonna pull it up for this first puff. I'm gonna yarn over, insert it into the same space when we did the slip stitch, pull it through. We're gonna try to pull it as high as we can. Yarn through again, insert into same loop, pull it high. So that's the second yarn through. We're gonna do 4 of them. Number 3, yarn it through, pull through, and number 4, yarn it through, pull through. So make sure your stitch is loose, and then we're gonna yarn through and pull through all the loops. Sometimes it can be a little bit challenging in this part, but just make sure you have the stitch loose so that you have space for. Now on top, we're gonna yarn it and pull it through in a slip stitch like this. So we are going to make a total of 8 puff. So after this, we're gonna chain 2 to create a space, and we're gonna yarn over and insert it into the second loop. So not the first one, but the second loop. So we're gonna do the same. Yarn over once, yarn over, insert, pull through twice, yarn over, pull through 3 times, yarn over, pull through the 4th time, and then we can yarn it through and go through this loop. And we're gonna yarn over and make a slip stitch, and we're gonna chain 2 and create the next puff. So the next puff we are also skipping a stitch, and the next stitch is where we insert. So we're going to do this the same until we create 8 puffs. In the next row, we're using this pink color. I'm gonna pull through the yarn. We're gonna tie a knot just to secure. You can also just pull through, leave an open tail for later. It's fine either way, however you want to do it. So I'm gonna tie a knot here. Insert the hook, yarn it through to put the loop on the hook. We're gonna make 2 clutter in this same space. Chain 3, yarn over, insert into the space, pull the yarn through, pull it high up. I'm gonna yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, insert, pull the yarn through, pull it high, yarn it through the first 2 loops. Now you have 3 loops on the hook. Let's do that one more time. Yarn it through, pull through the hook, pull it high, yarn through the first 2 loops. You have 4 loops on the hook. We need to do it one more time. So yarn it through, pull through the hook, yarn it through the 2 loops. Now you have 5 loops on the hook. Now we're ready to yarn it and pull through all 5 loops. So that's our first clutter. I'm gonna put a slip stitch on the top here. We will chain 1. Now we're gonna make another clutter in the same space. So yarn over, put in the space. I'm hiding this tail together with the loop, but sometimes it sticks out. So put it high, pull through the first 2 loops. You have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert it, pull through again. Yarn over the first 2 loops, 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over one more time, yarn it through the first 2 loops, 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over one more time, yarn through the first 2 loops, 5 loops on the hook. Now we yarn over, pull through all 5 loops, and we make a slip stitch and chain 1. So that's the first 2 clutters in this space. For the next space, we're gonna yarn over, insert the next space. So we're gonna create another 2 clutter in this space as well. So you just yarn over and pull through 2 loops until you have 5 loops on your hook, and then you yarn over and pull through 5 loops, and slip stitch, chain 1, and do the next clutter. So we're gonna create 2 clutters in each of these big space until we finish. You should have 16 clutters once you're done. So let's work on that. Feel free to pause the video, and then I'll meet you guys back when we have 16 clutters. So we are at our last clutter. So when we close our last clutter, chain 1 and then insert it into the top loop in the first clutter to close it with a slip stitch. So that's what it looks like. We can now make another knot to close it. Leave a tail to thread in later. In the next row, I'm gonna change color again. So same thing, we're gonna just insert in any of the space between the clutters. So you can just pick a random space, tie a knot to secure it. Insert a hook, loop over the yarn to get it on the hook. We are going to start at the corner. So in this row, we are starting to make the square. We're gonna chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our first treble crochet. we're gonna yarn over twice, insert it into the same space, yarn through, yarn over once, yarn over twice, yarn over the last 2 loops. So that's 2 treble crochet. So we already have the chain 4 as the first treble crochet. We'll make 1 more, yarn over twice, insert, pull it high, yarn over the first 2 loops, yarn over 2 loops, and yarn over the last loops. So that is our first clutter. So we're gonna create this as the corner. So we're gonna chain 1 and yarn over twice and create a clutter in the same space. So for the corner, we are doing treble crochets. So that's our first corner clutter. In the next clutter, we're gonna do double crochets. So we'll use the next space. So yarn over, insert. I'm keeping the tail here just to hide it at the same time. Pull through the yarn. So we're going to do double crochets in this space. Yarn over, yarn over again, the third double crochet. So this is our double crochet and we only need 1 clutter. In the next space, we're gonna do a clutter of half double crochets. So you're basically utilizing different heights to create that square shape, the straight line shape over here. So in the next space, we're gonna do a clutter of double crochet again. Yarn over, insert, pull through 2 loops, pull through 2 loops. And then the next space after this, we're gonna do the corner again. So in this space, we're gonna yarn over twice. This would be 2 clutters of treble crochets. So that's 1 clutter, and create a corner. I'm gonna chain 1. You can chain 2 as well, so it's up to you. So I'm just gonna chain 1, and then we'll do another clutter of treble crochets. Also, I only chain at the corner, so for these clutters, I don't chain. I just go ahead and went in the space to make the clutter. I only make the chain at the corner here. So in the next stitch, we're gonna repeat the same thing. We're gonna create 1 clutter of double crochet, 1 clutter of half double crochet, 1 clutter of double crochet, and the corner, which is 2 clutters of triple crochet. So we're gonna go around and do the same thing on each side, and I will meet you back when we are close to the end. Okay, so I'm at my last clutter. This is the double crochet clutter where I will connect with the corner. So once you're done with this, we're not gonna chain, but we're gonna go ahead and insert in this top loop in the first treble crochet, pull it through and make a slip stitch to close, and we're gonna make another knot just to close it. Pull it tight. So that's what it looks like so far. You can actually stop here as your small granny square, but we are actually gonna make another round. in the next round we're going to use white. We can insert it at any point. I am actually going to insert it in the space where I finished in the last round. Pull the yarn through and tie a knot. I'm going to keep this tail like tucked in this knot as well, so we can hide it later on. So insert the hook, loop over to get the yarn on the hook. In this space we're going to do double crochets, so we're going to chain 3, yarn over to create our first double crochet. So the chain 3 is considered as the first double crochet, so we need 2 more. So that's 1. We need 1 more now. So that's the double crochet clutter. So we're going to move on to the corner. For the corner we will also do treble crochets, so no chain, just yarn over twice, insert, pull through your 3 yarn over, 2 loops, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over 2 loops, and yarn over 2 loops. And one more time, and one more time, yarn through twice, yarn over twice, yarn over twice, insert, pull through 2 loop, pull through 2 loop, pull through 2 loops. Since this is the corner, we're gonna chain 1. I'm gonna chain 2 this time. We're gonna chain 2, yarn over twice, insert, and we are gonna create another clutter of treble crochets. Just remember we're only chaining on at the corner, and the regular stitches we don't chain. Okay, so that's the corner, and then in the next space we're gonna create a double crochet clutter. Because these are straight lines, so in the next space we're gonna create another double crochet clutters all around. So yarn over, one more clutter. So a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 clutters. So one more double crochet clutter. Okay, so in this round we have 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochet clutter, and then it's the corner. So over here we are at the corner again, so we're going to do the same to make 2 treble crochet at the corner. So let's go around and do that for each rows, each side, and then I'll meet you guys back. Okay, I am at my last clutter of double crochets. So to connect, we don't chain, we just insert it into this top loop of the first chain here. Insert, pull it through, make a slip stitch, and we'll make another loop to tie it. So let me sew up the tail and then I'll be right back. This is our sunburst inspired granny square. I hope you like this tutorial. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.